Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I have my first process video for the Felicity Jane Catherine kit. The kit came with a bunch of vellum photo frames and I don't really know how to use those frames, so I thought I would challenge myself to try. I posted on Instagram a question on how I should use these frames and I got some really good suggestions. I'm actually going to try to use all of the suggestions in these process videos for this kit. So I decided to do a layout about my son's graduation from elementary school, and because of COVID we did a drive-through and poor guy, he couldn't even see his friends because everyone had to stay in the car. So this layout I'm fussing a lot. I don't usually fuss this much when it comes to a layout, but these frames are a big challenge for me. So I'm moving things around until I am satisfied with how I want to use the frames. Now I'm using a little pencil and I'm getting my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter typecast and I'm going to do my journaling. And as you know, I always struggle with getting the cardstock fed through the typewriter. Ugh, so frustrating. Sorry about my head. So I finally get it through and I'm making sure that it's straight because it doesn't go in straight, of course. And I'm finding the pencil mark and then I'm trying to decide where I need to place my margins. And this is what I typed. 5th grade graduation was a drive-through due to COVID-19. Christian was able to see his friends from afar. I wish we could have celebrated with the party and his friends. Guess it will have to wait. So after I finish the journaling, of course, I'm going to go back to fussing with my layout. And now the reason that I'm fussing so much is because I don't have vellum adhesive. So I'm trying to figure out how to adhere the vellum down without showing the adhesive on the back of the vellum. Does that make sense? So I keep fussing and then I'm going through the stamp set and there's a stamp that says I want to remember. And I'm going to use the VersaFine black ink to do that, but as you'll see, I'm going to run into a little problem. I go through the alpha that came with this kit, and I want to put grad under the word happy there. But I'm rubbing the stamp against my hand, and you'll see I'm going to do a practice stamp, and I notice that I stamped too hard, as you'll see here in a second, because all you see is the remember. So when I stamp that above the happy, I didn't press it as hard, or I guess I did. Well, I thought I was pressing it hard enough to get the detail, but you didn't get to see the I want to part of the stamp, and it just says remember. But I'm not going to fuss with it anymore because I really want that happy journaling card. So I put the stamp set away, I cleaned the stamp with my stamp chamois. Now I'm going to go through the alphas and I'm trying to figure out what to write, but I do end up titling this grad, and I'm making sure that the letters are different colors so that it goes with the word happy, so it's all different colors instead of all the same colors. That's why you see me going back and forth about which letter or which color of the letter to use for the word grad. Now I'm recentering this. I started in the middle, but I still didn't get it quite right, so I'm recentering this. And I'm going to use my Caterpillar Pro crop to cut off part of the journaling card so that it'll fit on the in the photo frame. Now I love my Caterpillar Pro crop. It's a self-sharpening tool, so I don't need to replace the blades at all, and it is so precise. I highly recommend that if you're looking for a new paper trimmer. Okay, so now I'm going to fuss with the die cuts and try to decide which die cuts to use. Now here's my challenge. I have 4 photo frames, but I want to do a triangular 3 areas of embellishment. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. And what I end up doing is I end up putting one in the middle of the top and on the bottoms of each of the outer corners of the bottom ones. Does that make sense? It'll make sense here. So I'm gonna move. I still haven't adhered the anything down, so you'll see that I'm gonna mess with this quite a bit. Now, if any of you guys have suggestions on how to adhere vellum to the cardstock without showing the adhesive, please let me know down in the comments below. I would really, really appreciate that. I think I used to have vellum adhesive before, but you could still see the adhesive behind the vellum. So, yeah, first world problems is what I say. So I'm making sure that there's a flower on each of the 3 areas of where I'm going to put my embellishments. And I'm trying to decide if I should add one more, because I like to have groups of 3s and 3s, but not all of them are going to have 3 items in the embellishment clusters. So I tried to figure out the best way to adhere this down, and so I'm going to get my T ruler, and I decided I'm going to adhere the photos down first and leave some space for the vellum photo frame to still fit with the journaling still showing. So I'm going to use my ATG gun, and I'm going to adhere the photos down, and I'm making sure because the OCD part of me wants to make sure that they're all lined up and evenly spaced out. And then I'm going to take my T ruler and put it to the top of the layout and adhere the top portion down so that it all fits in straight. Does anyone else have this problem? I wish I could be willy-nilly, which is so funny because I am willy-nilly about some things, like just cutting paper and just putting them down, but when it comes to these grid things, I like to be a little more precise. Anyone else like that? Is there a pill to help with that problem? Okay, so now I'm fussing with the frames again, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place all those down, and I know where I'm putting the embellishment clusters, so I'm going to use my ATG and just put adhesive on the vellum photo frame right where the embellishment cluster is going to hide the adhesive, if that makes sense. I'm still fussing. So once I adhere the vellum frames down, I am going to start putting my embellishment clusters on there. See how I just put a teeny bit, and I'm hoping once it's in the page protector, it will not come off. So if anyone has great ideas of how to adhere that vellum, please let me know, because I'll have to go back and re-adhere these vellum frames so that they don't come off in the near future or far future. Now this corner on this top right that says Happy Grad, I do have adhesive there, but it's not going to be covered. And you know what, it doesn't look too bad, but I can see it. So if anyone has those suggestions, I'd appreciate it. So now I'm going to go ahead and adhere all the clusters down, and I'm using the Stampin' Up! Foam Dimensionals, which are my favorite foam dimensionals because they're nice and thin. And I struggled with this because I actually tore up the bottom portion of that paper so the sticker wasn't sticking. So once I get that figured out, I'm going to adhere that down. I like to have dimension on my layouts. So I go ahead and do that, and I get the 3 areas. Then I'm using the Felicity Jade stamp with the VersaFine black ink to date the layout. Then I'm using this puffy sticker that says Good Times, and I'm going to put it on the bottom left-hand corner so that I could have 2 embellishments there. And then next I'm going to go ahead and ink my layout. Now I was using the Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and I noticed that I think these are being phased out. So someone recommended that I use the Dr. P.H. Martin's black ink. So I tried it. This is my first time. Be kind. I didn't know what I was doing. You can tell there. So I get my box, and I'm going to shake up the Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star ink, and I just did the droplet, and look at how big those came out. I'm trying to make it look more like paint splatters, but it doesn't necessarily do that. So I didn't like how big these came out, and it soaked through the bottom of my to the back of the layout as well, so I had to leave it in the box for a while to dry. So I did end up getting my Heidi Swapp Color Shine, and I did splatter a few more inks on there. But if anyone has tips on how to use that Dr. P.H. Martin ink, let me know in the comments down below. Now this is a new Nuvo drop that I got, and it's chalk white, and it's that stone, so it actually feels like cement. And I didn't like how it turned out because it surprised me, because of course I didn't try it on a sample piece of paper. Note to self. But I did put 3 dots into the 3 embellishment clusters. And that's how I finished this layout. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you know of anyone who would like to, who would enjoy these videos, please share. I would so appreciate that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye.